Well, hey there, badass. Thank you for joining the show this week. Thank you for taking time to take care of you and to ward off injuries. And if you're injured now, I'm so sorry. The things that we're talking about today will help you. All right. So, injuries, they suck. We're just going to put that right out there, right from the gates. They suck, but they don't have to define us. They do not. Today, we're talking about how to hit the reset in our bodies and our mindset after injury. There are three key values that I love to talk about that I am so passionate about. And I want all women, especially my midlife women, because I think that we forget this. Three key things to think about, and that is strength, that is alignment, and confidence. And I feel so extremely passionate about this, probably because of the amount of women that I see that just have lost those values. They've let go of them. They don't believe that those values still belong to them at the age that they're currently at. And this is just not true. And when we're talking about injury, and I'm going to bring back the strength and alignment and confidence, when we're talking about injury, I could share probably 20 stories off the top of my head about being injured. But one that really sticks out is I love to do this race every summer. I've done it since 2009 with the exception of COVID. It's called the Ragnar Relay, and if you've listened to the podcast, you've heard me talk about this. It's a 200-mile relay that you do with a team of 12. And every year I come into this relay thinking I'm on top of the world. I've trained for it. I'm feeling great. But this one particular year, I was coaching a boot camp the day before Ragnar. And I decided to just do the warm-up jog with my clients and chat with them, check in with them. So as we're just taking an easy jog, like right out of the gate. That's weird. I thought my ankle kind of hurts. My ankle never hurts. I didn't think much about it. I finished teaching the boot camp. I was getting ready to go to work and my ankle hurt. So I worked that day. I put my ankle up, I put ice on it. I took some ibuprofen and I thought, you'll be fine. You'll wake up tomorrow and you'll be fine. Well, the next day when I woke up, my ankle still hurt. And I'm not just talking a little ache, I'm talking a sharp pain. So strange. I had felt fine 24 hours before. So I go to the Ragnar Relay, and my first leg is this really fun leg. I want to say it's about 7 miles, and you end up in this town north of us, and it's the name of the town is Bellingham. So if you're from Washington, you know Bellingham, but you run into the town and it's super fun. It's an exchange. So that means all of van 1 is there, all of van 2 is there. You've got your whole team. And this is where I'm going to pass off the bracelet to the other van. So I'm just finishing the last leg of my van. I'm runner 6 and I'm about to pass off, and my van comes rolling up next to me and I'm limping. And they're like, "Hey, you doing okay?" And I shake my head. Nope. Nope. Have some Advil ready for me. Have some ibuprofen. I'm going to need it. And when I passed off the bracelet and came to a halt, came to a walk and stopped, I realized, oh crap, I am hurt. I am really hurt. And when you go from running to a stop and you feel that jolt of pain immediately taking that first step, you know it's bad. So as the day went on and as all the runners kept going, my ankle got bigger and bigger and bigger and black and blue to the point that I could no longer even get my shoe on. Now, in the Ragnar Relay, you run a total of 3 times. I knew there was no way I was going to be able to put my shoe on or even stand, let alone run 2 more legs. I was heartbroken. I was scared. I was sad for my teammates because that meant that someone else was going to have to run all those miles. And again, I was scared. I was in so much pain and I was hours away from home. So if you picture that you're in a van, like not sleeping, not comfortable, I knew I couldn't spend the next 24 hours like that. So I phoned a friend who came and picked me up and got me to a ferry, who then got me to my husband, who brought me home. Long story short, I had a stress fracture in my tib fib, and those 7 miles blew it up. I was in desperate pain. And when we get ourselves injured like that, you attach your identity to that. So we begin to think that I'm hurt, I'm injured, I'm out, and you can't even see the future. You just know that you're out, and it feels like you're out forever. So let's talk about why injuries happen more often in midlife. There's three specific reasons that I want to share with you. Number one is overuse. We've been using these bodies for decades, and if movement patterns are off, it's going to catch up to us. Number two, we have this reduced recovery capacity. And what I mean by that is, yes, as we're aging, we have a little bit of a slower tissue repair, especially, and this is the big part of it, if we're not resting and fueling properly. So we need to be taking time off. Heather should have taken herself out of that race when she knew her ankle hurt before. We also need to fuel properly. So we need to make sure we're getting enough amino acids and that the breakdown of our foods is going to promote healing. And then the third reason is we have mobility and muscle imbalances. And if we think about it, daily movement, when we're moving less as we get into mid-age, that turns into tighter hips, weaker glutes, poor posture. I hope we all just sat up a little taller, extended the spine, lengthened the neck as I said that. For those three reasons, we see that injuries can happen more often in midlife. We also see, besides just the physical factors, it's this alignment breakdown. So misaligned hips, the disparity of the tilt in your hips or the height of your hips, also in your shoulders. This can lead to compensations where we're moving differently, we're moving funny, and that can create things like tendonitis or plantar fasciitis. If the structure is off, the stress has to go somewhere. And often for us, it's in our knees or in our back. So besides the physical part, there is this deep psychological component to getting injured in midlife. Like I said before, it is this identity crisis. If I can't lift, if I can't run, if I can't move like I used to, who am I? Can you relate to that? There's a fear of re-injury. This creates this hesitation and tension, which can actually increase your risk of injury. And then we have this all or nothing thinking. And that leads to burnout, you're ignoring pain, or you're giving up completely. So when this happens, we are going to reframe. This is feedback, not failure. This is feedback, not failure. When the ankle started to hurt, this is feedback. You should not run. You are not a failure. Those are things that I could have told myself and saved a whole lot of pain, not only for me, but for my teammates. So let's get into what you are here for. Like, how can we prevent these injuries from happening in midlife? We've got physical strategies. So number one is the alignment reset. How much are you incorporating mobility into your daily movement? How much are you incorporating posture work? Now, for me, using the Symmetry Align Smart has been the biggest game changer for both myself and my clients that will have ever seen and probably will ever see. It is something that is so incredibly powerful to just use corrective exercises and to constantly reassess. Remember with Align Smart, you're getting 20 bony landmarks measured to see what's off. Is there a disparity in the tilt of your hips? Do you have one shoulder higher than the other? Are your hips offset? Do your knees cave in? Do you pronate? There's so many things that we look at, and then all of that goes into the software, and the software is so brilliant. It gives you the corrective exercises and the specific amount of time to do those exercises for your particular situation. So I've said it before, I have seen incredible changes in my own body doing this. I was in great alignment in September, fantastic alignment. And then I went and hiked rim to rim in the Grand Canyon. And I also flew to Europe with my family and didn't sleep well and moved from one terrible bed to the other. And when I came back, my measurements were so bad that it was recommended that I don't even like put weights in my hands for a long time till that shit got ironed out. So I had a lot of work to do to get myself back into alignment. And that was really just from one epic hike and one epic trip across the pond. So alignment reset is going to be key. That is how you stay away from injury and how you fix yourself. If you are injured right now, if you're in pain, there's so much that corrective exercises can do. You're just going to get those postural muscles to pull your body back into alignment that you have been carrying around, perhaps a little wonky, for how many years? Okay, so that's number one, the alignment reset. The second piece of the physical strategies is strength training. Shocker, right? Especially your posterior chain. So, and also single leg stability. When we focus on more pull activities and working that posterior chain, that is helping to go right along with the alignment reset. Strength training, I cannot say enough, is a non-negotiable. We need to hold on, maintain our muscle mass, if not grow more. That is how we are going to stay injury-free or at least reduce those risks of injury. You look at our older population, you look at people when they fall and what happens. They oftentimes get very, very ill after a fall because they do not have that strength and that muscle mass to help them to heal and to continue carrying on. The third piece of it is rest and periodization. So we've got these cycles of training with built-in recovery to avoid overload. If you're in the Menopause Strength Society, you are following this to a T. You are following the guidelines of when to push, when to pull back. My online clients are doing the same thing. They all have a deload week to help them with their periodization. You have to have that built-in recovery. We are no longer in our 30s where we can do that same workout every single day and attack, 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 attack. It's not going to work. Okay, so those are the physical strategies. Hopefully those are helpful for you. I want you to put them into play. The second piece of this, how we can help prevent injuries in midlife, is the psychological resilience. So we need this mindset shift, and we need to view the injury as an opportunity to reset patterns that no longer serve you. Can I say that again? This is when we view injury as an opportunity to reset patterns that no longer serve you. Get rid of them. We do this with the way that we think. And this is such a powerful exercise. When we shift the way that we are viewing an injury, so we're not attaching our identity to it anymore, we're learning about patterns in our body. This is where we can become stronger. So let's go back to those values from the beginning about being stronger, being more in alignment, being more confident. You know that you can do these things just with the power of your mind. You can shift all of it. And then we also need to track progress differently. So we're not just looking for PRs anymore. We're tracking energy, we're tracking mobility, we're tracking sleep, we're tracking libido, we're tracking mood. These are all things that have to do with our psychological resilience. If we are not sleeping well, if we are in a real funky ass mood, if our libido has like disappeared, we most likely are not in a resilient state. And we need to get all of those pieces into play. So this isn't just about how much weight you can lift, how fast you can run. This is about all of those things, protecting your energy. How do you move? Okay. And then let's tack in one more thing to this: nutrition for injury prevention. The very first thing on this list is protein. Protein is so essential for muscle repair and for collagen formation. So, how much protein do you need? I always recommend that you're aiming to get 1 gram per ideal body weight. And that is not where you start. So, you're going to have to go back to other podcasts to listen to where to start. But if you are trying to maintain your muscle mass, if not grow muscle mass, you're aiming for 1 gram for ideal body weight. That being said, if you are injured, you want to tick that up slightly. You are going to try to get a little more protein than you usually do. And this is because those amino acids are going to help with the healing. The second piece of your nutrition is looking at eating an anti-inflammatory diet. So you focus on those omega-3s and the colorful fruits and veggies, turmeric, ginger, such healthy, yummy, vital nutrients. And then the last thing that we look at is supplements. Thinking about the supplements. Maybe you're going to put some extra collagen in with vitamin C. Combining those two really has been shown to boost the collagen's benefits. Magnesium, vitamin D. Notice that I said in order: protein, then your anti-inflammatory diet, then considering supplements. We do not get hurt and immediately go to, ooh, what supplement can I take? You want to get the nutrition through whole, real foods as much as possible. All right. So I'm going to leave you with an action plan. And I want you to think of this as like your reset framework. And we're going off alliteration today. So number 1 is awareness. Know where your weak spots are. Know what your alignment issues are. Know what your triggers are. That's your awareness. Number 2 is adjustment. Modify the movements, modify your habits, modify your mindset. Don't stop. This is not all or nothing. So we adjust, we don't stop. We stay in movement. Body is in motion, stay in motion. And then number 3 is take action. Rebuild from the inside out with aligned strength and fueling. Take action. So awareness, adjustments, and take action. And I want you to really think about this too. Like, where do I need a reset right now? Do I need it physically? Do I need it mentally? Do I need it through my nutrition? Is there something that you need to do right now to hit that reset? So just a reminder, beautiful badass people, that injury is not the end. It's a powerful reset opportunity. Yeah, we're putting the positive spin on this. And then I invite you to share an injury story or a reset moment with me so that I can share it in my community. Tag me on Instagram. Let me know that you heard this. Share something with me. Or maybe you're going to come up with your own checklist based off what we talked about today. Maybe you're going to start a reset week and you're going to start incorporating some of these things in. So I just want you to know, beautiful person, beautiful soul, listening or watching, you are not broken. You're just realigning. Thank you so much for listening today. If this is something that would be helpful or valuable, please share it with a friend. It means so much to me. I appreciate you. I want you to stay healthy, strong, aligned, and confident. And we'll see you next time on the Badass Reset Club.